They've hit a flat period. What should that tell us?
I really don't believe that they've hit a flat period. The computer market has been and is rising at about 30% per year, and nowhere has there been a flat period.
It is not rising at nearly the rate it was going.
Yes, it is.
No, well, we disagree. We're looking at two different sets of numbers. My question to you is the home computer destined to become the CB of the 80s, the hula hoop of the 80s?
Well, I'm glad you brought this analogy, because like a CB, it won't be very useful in its present form, which is just talking to yourself and to your computer. But like a CB, when it starts talking to other computers throughout the whole country, when we have several million machines interconnected and people can talk to each other and can exchange views and can transact, can buy and sell information, can buy and sell informational services, labor, I think it's going to be a very interesting period where we'll have an information marketplace, a new way of life.
I quite disagree.
I want to get him angry.
And we're going even further than that, right? So we're bringing value right onto the internet. This has never been done before. But prior to this was only information. This was only, commerce can happen, but it's all going through the traditional banking system. With crypto, it's like having cash right on the internet. And that's the revolution. And this guy was bright enough to see what was happening with computers. And, what he's describing is like a living, breathing organism that comes to life. The more computers, the more microchips, all of these different devices, the Internet of Things, everything comes and connects together. What's missing from this is the value layer, and now it's not missing anymore. And that's what crypto is. So, when you hear all of the FUD, we're part of a revolution. It's part of a system that's going to have exponential growth because it's a key component, and it's going to keep continuing. Now, next up, this is Tom Emmer. Now, what he's saying is really interesting, and you probably have heard it from my channel as well as other channels, and he's pretty much saying it out loud. So listen to this.
We got $32 trillion in debt in this country. We've got to figure out how to balance our budget. And then guess what? You want crypto and everything associated with it to grow here, to innovate and grow here, because that will grow the economic pie for everyone. Republicans, Democrats, that's the only way. I'm going to tell you right now, my belief is that's the only way that you can deal with the $32 trillion in debt. The only other way would be to declare the country bankrupt and go into reorganization and tell people that they're going to take haircuts for debts and we're going to pay this back and we're going to prioritize.
So to be clear, Tom Emmer is saying the jobs and everything that crypto brings into the U.S. will give tax revenue in order to pay off the debt, but you could take that different ways, right? So I found that pretty interesting. Thanks to the Digital Asset Investor to bringing this to my attention. Now, the other thing that I came about was, remember this guy? This guy is 2-bit idiot. This guy's very connected to the crypto world, and he recently just changed his tune about XRP and issued a report that came out, and it was favorable towards XRP. Now, this is Brad Garlinghouse's likes, and he liked this tweet from September 8th, 2021. So this was a while ago. He went out of his way to like this, and it's, part of a thread. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So they're going after the SEC, and it looks like the SEC's continued warfare. You're seeing Gary Gensler, you're seeing all these Elizabeth Warren preaching like an anti-crypto army now. Politicians are turning crypto political, and Garlinghouse went out of his way to like this tweet. So Mazzari report, very, very connected into crypto. They do a report for like institutional investors to invest in different crypto assets. And now, they've always been very critical of XRP. As a matter of fact, 2-bit idiot was one of the people that went to the SEC and reported that there was errors in their quarterly report. So he went out of his way to tell on Ripple, and here's Brad Garlinghouse dunking him in this tank. So when you saw Mazzari write this favorable article about XRP, this was a big deal because he has the ear to a lot of institutional players, and he pretty much said, there's value in this. And, there's a reason to have XRP, which that's a very different tune. So Brad going back and liking this tweet, there's obviously a war going on with crypto. It looks like the banks are still in trouble. There was another bank today that was MBC, the ticker MBC, which also took a 30% dive today. The banks are still in trouble. President Biden's asking regulators to reverse some of the Trump era bank rules. Now they're making this even more political than it is, but the banking rules, like they're very high. They're extremely high for collateral. Like you need to back your assets with all this stuff, right? And it's still failing. So Dodd-Frank, all of those rules, they only apply to U.S. banks. They don't apply to the rest of the world. And the rest of the world's having this collateral problem. And that's why we're seeing stuff like this. This is the largest outflow of deposits from commercial banks. So this chart's showing everybody's deposits. You can see when everyone got their stimulus check. Now we're going on the opposite side of this. Now, people think it's money being taken out of the market. It could just be from being spent because of high prices, right? Like I'm having a hard time just going grocery shopping each week. The bills keep adding up, and there's nothing in my account. It just dwindles down very quickly, right? So this doesn't even have to be people in fear. It's just because there is so much extra money and now you're contracting it. So this whole system is based off of debt, right? And we're going in the opposite direction. We're burning money. So if you have $10 trillion that you just gave out to everyone, they levered it up. They took the 10 trillion, levered it, and now you just contracted to 9 trillion. There's $1 trillion out there that needs that's in trouble right now because you can't pay back the 10 trillion if there's only 9 trillion. So there has to be losers, and that's what we're seeing is more and more losers. The question is, when does it get so bad that the Fed goes from not burning money to expanding debt again? And it's going to happen. You're already seeing, just with the Fed doing their overnight loans and stuff like that, they're actually hiding and sneaking money here and there, and it's they're changing their tune. Inflation still ran hot today. We got some of the numbers. Core PCE was up like 0.1% or so. So it wasn't exactly what they expected, but it's pretty close. So the market kind of liked that. This is the 5 countries in BRICS now contribute 31% of global GDP, while the G7 has fallen to 30%. So the G7 is making the rules, right? And this is the problem. These BRICS nations came to the World Trade Organization and all these different alliances, early on and started contributing to the global economy. And now the G7's kind of like changing the rules when they start participating, right? So the BRICS countries are tired of the status quo, right? Sanctions, trade wars, all the things that we've done over the years. So of course there's going to be some type of reaction. And you can argue that we've gone overboard with it. And some people say there's no way that you can take the dollar out of the system. Well, when there's a will, there's a way. Brazil, Russia, India, China, these are very large economies and vast demographics. It's not like Cuba. We didn't sanction Cuba, we didn't sanction Iran. These are very large economies that are all working towards this goal with a lot of people. We do have a lot to offer, but when you're taking somebody's livelihood, right? Because that's essentially what we did when we froze the Central Bank of Russia. People's livelihoods was taken from them, right? People that don't care about politics, that are just working and stuff, right? Their whole livelihood gone in a blink of an eye, right? So there's consequences to doing that. And for every action, there's a reaction. And we're going to start seeing more and more of this stuff start surfacing. Now, Michael Burry came out and said, I was wrong to say sell. So he came out and he just tweeted out sell. He's notorious for coming out and saying cryptic messages and kind of goosing up the markets and stuff like that. But people are laughing at him and telling him he's like a top signal now. So it's kind of humorous to see that. This Restrict Act that I talked about in the last video, this is going after not just security, not just TikTok. They're going after pretty much everything, right? And you're going to have absolutely no privacy online. They're going after your VPNs. They're viewing it as a national security threat. It's similar to like a Patriot Act type of your rights going right out the window, right? So this is getting little opposition. There's like 7 people that oppose this bill, and it's a dangerous bill. So the IMF released this CBDC monetary policy implications for central bank digital currencies. This came out for the Islamic banking system. Now, this was all about tokenization of CBDCs. This is R3 Corda. I believe it's Corda Settler too, but don't quote me on that. They list out atomic settlement, instant settlement. They're obviously testing these new grounds. Now, India moved forward with their rupee settlement, right? So that's another attack on the dollar system as a payments currency. So India moved forward, the Middle East is moving forward, everybody's moving forward to CBDCs and these swaps. There's no dollars involved. It's all just swapping tokens for tokens. And as this advances, there's more and more opportunities to move away from dollars. So we're going to continue to see this. Now, this is a chart of the SP 500 and liquidity. So we're at a very low liquidity area. So the market, it can move up and down easily. It just takes one ginormous whale to move the market. So prices move when there's low liquidity. Prices stabilize when there's high liquidity. And that's what's happening. If you think about just like an order book, right? If you're a whale and you have to buy, you push up the price just by making your position. Credit Suisse is now being accused of committing tax fraud. So we saw some problems with Credit Suisse, and this is what I'm saying. This problem is international, so you're going to see a lot of these European banks demonized, right? They're going to fail, and now they're saying, they're helping all these people with tax evasion. Now, modern monetary theory is just this: print as much money. When inflation gets high, you tax it away. So our privacy, what we're seeing with the Restrict Act, as well as tax laws, have to get better, right? They have to catch everyone that cheats on their taxes. They have to go after everyone, and they have to contain the money supply. And that's what this Yellen, all of these people that control our money, that's what they believe in. So you're going to see more and more of this, and they're going to blame a lot of these bank failures on like tax evasion and stuff, and it's going to be a cost to nationalize, to have a CBDC, right? So if this was a Fed coin in Credit Suisse, they would have visibility to everything that happened with those Fed coins in Credit Suisse, right? So that's the transparency layer that's being revealed. It's coming. It's just, it's been quite a bit. So if you are unaware, on March 31st is tomorrow, we're going to have a Twitter space with David Chum, Richard Carback. We're going to have it with the Crust Network, Rashid from Alliance Block, and a couple other people. So be sure to set your reminder. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please like, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.